we're making an iron farm in Create mod. I have a couple goals for this. They are, we want it to be survival friendly, so we're going to use these steam engines right here to power it to ensure we can. I want it to be efficient, and I want it to produce a lot of items. So let's get right into it. There are 4 stages to this design in order to produce iron. First, we drill the cobblestone. Second, we crush the gravel. Third, we wash to iron nuggets. We also produce flint, we don't want flint. And fourth, we press to make iron ingots. Very simple, very straightforward, hopefully very easy. Now, in order to accomplish our goal of efficiency, I've created a little machine here to show us the math to produce each the cobblestone and the gravel. This cobblestone is produced at a rate of 1.82 per second. Crushing the gravel, which is most efficient when doing stacks of 16, this will produce at a rate of a stack of 16 is completed at a rate of 6.96 a second. So with a little bit of math, we've got that one item of gravel is completed every 0.435 seconds. And with a little bit of wizardry, that determines that roughly a little over 4 mining drills will best supply 1 crushing wheel. And to even that out a little better, to find a better ratio, it will be 21 mining drills to 5 crushing wheels. We create the most optimal small scale ratio to produce a lot of items. All right, so we're going to begin step 1. This is going to be our cobblestone generator. So this module is going to consist of a vault as a base. All right, so we've built the bay of the module where the cobblestone is going to get created. You see exactly where the lava and water are going to go. So you got lava, water, water. And the cobblestone is pre-laid out. That is actually important because Create has a cool functionality where if you break cobblestone with a drill in a cobble generator, it doesn't break the block, it drops the item instead. We're not going to fill this just yet. We're going to put in all of our drills first, which is going to be a time. And we're going to put in one of my least favorite blocks, which is literally just for how it looks in certain ways because of this. When you turn it, the texture just looks a little broken. It's me being just annoying at that point, but still don't like it. It's very useful, still don't like it. And then we can waterlog all of these drills, as these waterlog drills will work for our generator. And then we can place our lava in. Don't need a ton of it, just a couple of flowing blocks. Just to demonstrate this in action, if you see when these break, it doesn't actually break the block, but they will drop an item. So turn that off for now, because that's cheating. We gotta make sure we're using power from our generator over there. But now we can use one of my most favorite blocks, the case chain drive, new from Create 6. And we should use this to run power from over here. Just over like that, and it's all online, albeit a little slow. Just turn this up, and we are now at full blast producing with 21 drills. You'll see this filling up real quick. I'm just gonna turn this off for now. That's module 1 completed. We're gonna make a schematic of this later, and the schematics for each module will be available in the Discord, link down below. So now we're gonna start on the crushing module. The module is gonna turn our cobblestone into gravel. So this is actually a very, very simple module. It's just gonna consist of a couple belts running across with a ton of crushing wheels. And by ton, I mean 5. And all these brass funnels are gonna be set to 16 for the most optimal crushing of a crushing wheel. So a very cool fun fact about the crushing wheel is that if you put 2 gray boxes off the side of a belt and place a crushing wheel on top of it, they will automatically be spinning in the right direction. So you don't have to worry about faffing around to get it to work. Then we just run a lot of andesite funnels on this side because they will accept any stack size of items, no matter how big or small. Now that we got these hooked up, we'll add a speed controller and some shafts and give this new module a try. See, it's running at a very slow speed currently, but let's go ahead and bump this up, and we just see very little slack once it gets through our excess. We can plug this, unplug this to get to the excess real quick. All right, now that we've run through the excess, we can go ahead and turn on our cobble gen and see there's very little slack in our system. It will prioritize one, slowly stack it up until it gets to the next one, but we'll see as they begin to stack up, they stack up less and less. So this one will take the longest to become activated, but there it goes. We'll see it's only being fed occasionally currently, and we'll have a little bit of a backup eventually, but that's okay. It's not perfect, but it is pretty optimal. And we could always add another crushing wheel if we really wanted to bolster that little bit of excess that's just not being completed. But we can go ahead and turn these off for now and begin on our next module. Before we move on to this next module, I do want to highlight how much stress we are currently using. It's approximately 25,000, so not horrible. Definitely have a lot more wiggle room to work with from these 2 steam generators. Running on just lava, by the way. So our next module is washing. Washing is a peculiar one. We could try to quantify it, but it's really hard to quantify, especially in high quantities. So washing is an interesting one. We need to filter out the items we want to be washed. So we're going to put brass funnels with item filters with gravel on a deny list. So that way it'll allow iron nuggets and flint through. And that flint we can then put over here because we don't want it. I'm gonna put it here, just going into a little pool of lava. Now, if you do want flint, you can use it for other stuff. It makes a ton of flint, so we don't have to worry about that. On this side, we're gonna place more brass funnels. We're gonna go for the max 64 just to try to get as many stacks out as possible. Now right here, I'm gonna start putting down leaves. Leaves are fun because you can waterlog them. and the water isn't going to flow anywhere. But why are we putting 2 stacks of leaves up? So fans will blow onto both the belt block and the block right above it, and it will wash the material. Speaking of fans, we need to place all these in. We're also going to do it on the other side over here to try and maximize our washing. With this setup, we'll be washing with 4 fans at the same time. Now, I'm not sure if we need to add another layer to this, so we're going to give this a test. We're going to actually extend this belt here just to make sure we can get power to everything. We're going to use my least favorite block again, these encased chain drives, because they are just a truly effective block. They do a really good job. I just, again, don't like how they look. They are very good, so I shouldn't be judging them. All we have to do is hook it up to power, give it a test. It is all blowing the wrong way, so we just need to swap that out. We're going to keep it at a low speed for now, just to make sure we're testing everything. You can see these are all blowing correctly. So what we can do now is increase our RPM to try to encompass everything. When you increase rotational power, you'll see the fans blow across even further, which will allow them to wash more at once. So probably want to extend it a little more so they reach both sides. All right, and you can see it's blowing both sides, so it should be able to wash it all with a lot of ease. Now we can test everything by turning back on the cobble gens to see how well this works. It's exactly putting out most of the gravel down here, but it is beginning to stack up, so it's going to begin flowing to the next rows, 1 row at a time. So I'll be honest, looks like I kind of went over the top. So we can go ahead and chop off this entire right side here, so we don't have to worry about it. Just like that, that is done. It's cut in half. This can all be moved in a little bit to make up better space, but I'm not super concerned about space here. We do have plenty of it. I did leave an extra lane here in case there is a moment where there is a little bit of excess, just in case, but it really doesn't need it. Rotational power update. It didn't really use much more, so we have that for us too. So this here is where we're going to begin our next and final module, where we turn iron nuggets into iron ingots. So see, there is a gap in our belt here, and this is where we're going to place basins, where we can turn our iron nuggets into iron ingots. You use these basins with a press on top, and it'll automatically combine recipes of 9. But we do need to take these and place iron nuggets along all of them to make sure only iron nuggets come out and not any flint, because if it was quick enough, it might accidentally pull flint. Then we're going to make sure it's a stack size of exactly 9. This is again for optimal efficiency. Now, I don't believe we're going to need all of these lines, but I'm setting it up just in case, and we'll experiment a little to get it down instead of more math. Now on the basins, we want to make sure you're using iron nuggets on the front to make sure we're not accidentally producing iron blocks. Create a separate module for this if you like, just by copying and pasting this and switching them around. Now the last piece we need is andesite funnels going into these basins just to pick up the items. Try to find the best way to power this. Case chain drives a belt along that side. All right, we just gotta switch this the right direction and speed it up. Turn off our clutch. There we go. It is doing a great job of getting through these. It's a bit loud and annoying. I'm gonna let it get through our slack real quick. We'll see what we actually need. This shows you how much it takes to produce such a small amount of iron ingots. Oh my god. It's kind of insane actually. We're just gonna consolidate this real quick. So now this has been consolidated quite a bit to a much smaller setup here. This is something we can definitely stack multiple of these modules going into one of these to then produce just iron nuggets, and then just do one of these modules at the end, because like we're not even using this even close to its full potential. This could probably support at least 2 to 3 of all of these. We can time that. And the important thing we want to do is see exactly the rate we are producing now. We're going to build a sign right back here, something small and simple, display link, and a little bit of power, making 0.76 per second. And it looks like it's actually going down, maybe varying a little bit because iron nuggets are not the most reliable product. So it's not the fastest in the world. It's not the slowest, that is for certain. But all this just for that little bit. All right, so we're gonna try to expand on this. See if economies of scale, using a nice school term there, will really improve our output, which I very much think it will. We're gonna start by making 4 more copies of these 2 modules down, and we'll expand this module to how we had it before. We'll expand this one a little bit too, to see how much of an improvement they'll provide to our iron factory here. All right, I have 2 of the schematics set up, so we're just gonna plop in a creative crate, and they'll just go ahead and get blasted into existence. Now, in this version of Crate Mod, it does struggle a little bit with belts. Don't know why, so you do have to fix those manually, unfortunately, and sometimes it messes up on item vaults too, as I've seen. We'll also not paste in water or lava, so you do have to do those parts yourself, but it does save a lot of time regardless. All right, we've doubled the operation. We shifted around to that side though, just to make ample room. I want to turn up our speed, ensure we're washing everything. We need to go a little higher than that. There it is, that's at 128. See, everything is getting quadruple wash, which should be able to keep up with everything over here. Let's go ahead and turn it back on. My computer is not liking this, but that's okay. See really quickly, it's picking up a lot of gravel in here, filling out all the rows, but washing pretty decently fast. Everything is going to be making its way down. Don't need all 3 belts, I'm just being extra. To here, you can see it's starting to fill up. Things are starting to wash. And this is now picked up. We're at a rate of around 1.8 a second. Again, not an insane amount. But if we want to be more impressive, we can increase this to per hour. We're creating 7,200 per hour. Let's go. And of course, we can add a ton more of these modules, and part of me is thinking about it. Let's check our stress. Ooh, we are getting up there though. We're at 112,000 stress units. All right, we really expanded this operation quite a bit here. Producing a lot more gravel every second. Oh, these belts aren't even spinning. I just realized that. Well, gotta figure that one out. All right, and there we go. We've gotten up to speed. We are producing a lot of flint and iron nuggets every second. We can turn this on. We can get the bapping up to full speed. We may have reached the limit of this one basin, so we can add a couple more. We'll try that out. All right, you can see we've now added our increased pressing, and it varies quite a bit. It really comes down to the rate iron nuggets are being produced, which is a variable rate. There's a lot of fun math there. I've seen it peak up to about 19,000. We might get lucky again to see it. Ooh. Oh, we got 20,000. All right, we'll take it. 20,000 iron ingots an hour. I mean, of course, we're depositing all into lava, being produced by this, decently sized farm. I think that checks all of our boxes we want to accomplish. A survival friendly, albeit late game, massive scale. Efficient, our ratios are pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it's pretty efficient, I'd say. And at scale, we are producing 20,000 iron ingots an hour, which is not a small amount. More than you'll be able to use in an hour, I'm sure. Now, if you want to build this for yourself, there will be a schematic for this entire farm, as well as each module in the Discord linked down below, as I've said before. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to comment your thoughts on this factory, what factories I should build next, what I should do in Crate Mod next, because I am always looking for new ideas, and I appreciate all of them, even if I don't get to all of them. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.